This is the supplies that you're going to need to make our fabric pumpkins for our mantle. First of all, I have some scrap fabric. Now, I got my fabric from Hobby Lobby in a scrap bin section. I think it was a couple of dollars for each piece. We're not going to need a whole lot of it, just enough to cover one of the pumpkins. So I think, like I said, they were a couple dollars a piece, but you can always use dollar store dish towels. I know dollar store makes some really cute dish towels, which would be nice to wrap the pumpkins in, or whatever scrap fabric you might have. I also have this vinyl top liner. It's a drawer liner. There's no adhesive on the back of this. I really liked the print. It's kind of a gray and white floral print, and this came from the Dollar Tree, so I'm going to use that as well. Then I also picked up a couple of these. These are from the Dollar Tree. They're a little thankful sign or a little thankful plaque. They're meant to be either hung up or on display, but I'm going to completely repurpose these, and I'm going to use these as a base for a couple of my pumpkins. So I grabbed two of them. It didn't really matter what they look like. These ones happen to have kind of a cute little decoration on them already, but I'm going to be spray painting them. I also grabbed two of these little pumpkin decor pieces from the Dollar Tree. This one right here is a little like smaller, shorter one, and then this one sits up a little taller. Again, these are all going to be painted and redone, but I just wanted them for the shape. I also picked up two of these wall plaques. These ones came from the Dollar Tree. This one is the Farm Fresh Pumpkin. It's got this nice little metal leaf. We're going to be pulling this apart a little bit. We're going to be pulling this hang tag off and redoing that one. And this is another one that I got. And this one just says thankful and blessed. These are actually really cute on their own, but not quite the style that I'm going for this year. So I'm going to redo these to make them kind of go with my decor a little bit better at home. I also grabbed two little packages of this decorative nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. Whenever I see my Dollar Tree have some of this, I will pick it up because I use this for a lot of different DIYs. This is a jute cord. I got this from Walmart. However, I have seen this on Amazon as well for a really good price. So I'm going to use some of that. Then I also grabbed these metal words. Now this is the first year I've seen these from the dollar store, and if you're going for kind of like a farmhouse theme in your decorating, I thought these were so cute. There's three different ones: thankful, harvest, and welcome. Again, these came from the dollar store. This is a really good find. If you can spot these, grab these now. We're just going to use some of the Rust-Oleum. This is the Painter's Touch spray paint in heirloom white. We're going to use that one. That one just came from Home Depot. It was like $3. I have some hot glue. And then I just grabbed a few of my faux florals. I have a bunch of faux floral downstairs. I picked out some of the colors that I want to use this year. Love these like little berries. I also grabbed a couple of these from the dollar store. This is that kind of burgundy Queen Anne's lace. I think I grabbed 4 or 5 of them. Again, I love that color scheme, so I'm going to use those in my kind of floral that's going to accent these pumpkins. So those are the supplies that you're going to need for this DIY project. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to just prep these for spray paint. What I'm doing is I'm just taking the little hang tags off, just clipping them off. I'm not going to be using them. If you want to hang them on the wall, you can definitely go ahead and redo them afterwards. But I am going to just pull off these little metal, these are really cute, these little metal leaves, and I'm going to pull off this like raffia ribbon, and I just want like a blank canvas to work with. So I'm going to do that with both of these large pumpkins, and then also the smaller pumpkins that are on the stand. I'm not going to pull the stand off because I like that they're on the stand. However, I am going to pull off the raffia ribbon, and I'm also going to pull off this little sunflower that's on the front here. I think it's just glued on. Yeah, you can just kind of pry that off. Again, set them aside if you want to reuse them. pumpkins and all the pieces that I painted with the white spray paint dry for about 24 hours. So I have them inside now and we are gonna start working on them. I'm actually gonna start with this smaller of the flat plaque pumpkins. This one has got like a nice smooth surface. It doesn't have any writing on the front. So we're gonna use that one first. And I'm gonna get these ones out of the way. I'm gonna be using one of these. These were the small wall plaques also. I'm gonna be using one of them for this pumpkin and one for the other pumpkin. We're also gonna use this vinyl surface. This is that vinyl top liner. And I'm going to use this pumpkin as a template. And we're gonna lay it on the back side of this vinyl liner. And we're gonna take our pen and just trace around our pumpkin. Then we're gonna go ahead and cut this out. Let's make sure it lines up nicely. It should fit pretty perfect on the front of that pumpkin. All right, now we're gonna just take a little bit of Mod Podge. And I have a little sponge, and we're gonna put some Mod Podge all over the front of this pumpkin. And the reason why I painted these pumpkins is that sometimes the fabric is light enough, or if this is light enough, you can see through it. And I didn't want to see through and see the lettering on the pumpkin. So that's why I painted these ones white. If you're using a darker fabric, or if you're using something that you're not going to see, then go ahead and skip the painting step. I'm going to go ahead and take my pumpkin print, and we're just going to line that up and stick that right to the front of our pumpkin. All right, so now we have this gorgeous floral pumpkin that looks like that. Got my hot glue gun warmed up, and I have some of this jute cording. This is the thinner one. I have a thicker rope that I'm going to use for a different pumpkin, but I want the thinner of the cording. So we're going to start right in the center. We're going to put our little dollop of glue right in the center. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take more glue, and I'm just going to take a little bit right along the edge of the stem. You can see right there, just to hold that down. And then we're gonna go ahead and put glue all around this outside piece, and we're gonna frame the edge of the outside with this cording. So again, I'm just gonna do a couple little dollops along the edge, and then I'll push this cording right down into that. Just kind of hold it there. And we'll work all the way around the pumpkin. Now you should have this nice corded edged pumpkin right here with this gorgeous floral background. Now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna take one of these cutouts. These are those metal cutouts that came from the dollar store. I'm gonna use the one that says Harvest. And what I'm gonna do is I have these little sticky, I don't know what these are called. They're from Stampin' Up, but I have seen them at Hobby Lobby. I've also seen them at a few other craft stores. Basically what they are is they're a little double-sided sticky tape that rises up whatever you're working with, because I don't want to place this right flat on this pumpkin. I want it to sit up and be a little bit three-dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a few of these right on top of each other. And I also want to make sure that they are a little bit more permanent, so I'm going to hot glue them as well. So I'm going to kind of just line up my Harvest on my pumpkin. I'm going to kind of do it in a diagonal slightly. I'm going to take a little pen, and I'm going to make a mark where I want my one of my little risers to stick. So I'm going to put this one here. Just double check. Use these little risers on the thickest part of your metal lettering. So I'm going to do one there. I'm also going to do one close to the middle, right in here, and then another one out here on the edge at the T. I'm going to put a hot glue right on that little mark. And I'm actually gonna build them up about 3 high. So as you can see, I've got my 3 little risers, and we're gonna just line up our lettering to sit right on those risers. Now again, I just stuck a dollop of hot glue on each one of them just to make sure that this really stays well. Now you can see the harvest is kind of 3-dimensional. It's not flat right on that pumpkin. So now we're gonna work on the base for this pumpkin to hold it up. Now if you flip these little wall plaques around, you'll see that there is a little piece right here that was meant to be hung on the wall. We're gonna repurpose that and use that to attach the pumpkin. We're gonna actually put some glue right on this side of that little attachment, and we're gonna glue it right to the back side of our pumpkin. That way this is going to be used as a little base to hold our pumpkin. You're going to want a good amount of it so it stays. I got quite a few little dollops there. Again, flip your pumpkin around so that the back side is going to set into that. And you're just going to press that right down into that glue until it sets. And I'm just gonna hold it for a few seconds. Now you should have this cute little pumpkin that's gonna sit upright just like that in this nice little base. Now don't worry, you're not gonna be able to see in here because we're actually gonna stick some faux flowers down in there. I've grabbed a few scattered faux floral pieces. Most of these are from the dollar store. This is that really pretty burgundy color Queen Anne's lace. I also have some Gerber daisies. I have some random small pieces that I had gotten before and used in previous projects, but I just picked some that I really like the colors of. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim these down. I finished gluing all of my little small floral pieces into the front of that little stand. Now I have this cute little harvest plaque. This is the first one that I have done, and it sits up nicely just like that. So I will put that up on my mantle, and we're gonna start working on the second. All right, next I have the 2 small pumpkins that we spray painted, and we're gonna do one of these small pumpkins in this gray plaid fabric. So again, just like I did before, this one might be a little bit difficult to trace only because it has this base on the bottom, but I'm just gonna set it to the side of my countertop, and let me pull the fabric all the way to the edge so that way I don't have to cut as much. So the fabric is lined right up along the edge. I'm gonna take my marker and I'm just gonna trace around this small pumpkin, and then I'll go ahead and cut that out. So now I have my fabric pumpkin. Let's just make sure it fits. Fits perfectly. So now again, I'm gonna take my Mod Podge and very thick, with a thick coat, I'm gonna go over my pumpkin with the Mod Podge, and we're gonna take our fabric, make sure we have the right side. I want the side that doesn't have the tracing on it facing up, and we'll just lay that fabric right on top, push it right down into that Mod Podge. It looks really cute already. Alright, I'm gonna take a small piece of this cording and I'm just gonna make a little bow. I don't want it too big. I'm gonna make it about that size right there. Just a little rustic looking bow. And then I'm going to take my hot glue And we're gonna just glue this little bow to the top of our pumpkin. We're also gonna take a couple of our floral pieces, and I'm gonna glue these to the base. So this is just some of the Queen Anne's lace. Put a little glue on that. I'm gonna glue it right to the base. One on either side. Just to get a little floral in there. There we have another little pumpkin. I'll stick that one up with the others. Right, so for our next pumpkin, we have this one that says thankful and blessed on the front. You can kind of see it through the spray paint. So we're gonna use a thicker fabric to cover this one. This is just another scrap fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was really inexpensive, but it was nice and thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the area on the fabric that I want. I'm gonna flip it over. And just like I did before, I'm gonna take my pumpkin, place it on that fabric. I'm gonna trace out all around the pumpkin. Right, so there's my pumpkin. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. So just like we did with the other pumpkin, we have our piece of fabric cut out. We're gonna take our Mod Podge and we're gonna paint it right on the front of our pumpkin here. And we want it nice and thick because this is fabric, and we want to make sure our fabric sticks fully to the pumpkin. So I'm going to put a nice thick coat, especially around the edges. Then we're going to take that fabric and we're going to place it right down into the Mod Podge. Line it up nicely. I'm going to just press it right down in there. Pick my next metal cutout, which I'm going to use the thankful cutout. And again, we're going to put this one on the front of this pumpkin using those little risers. There are those risers. I'm just going to go ahead and put a dollop of glue on each one. And we're going to take our thankful, line that right up on those risers. Kind of hold them into place till it sets. And we're gonna take our second little base and do just like we did on the first one. We're gonna put some hot glue right on that inside piece. Fill it up with plenty of hot glue. And we're gonna set our pumpkin right down into that base. So there's our second pumpkin. Again, we're gonna take our faux flowers, just like we did on the first one, and we're gonna glue some faux flowers on the inside of this base. So there's our second thankful pumpkin. I love it, it's so pretty. So for our last pumpkin, we're gonna use our second little plaque here that we spray painted, and we're gonna use this thicker nautical rope from the dollar store. Now I have my hot glue still heated up, and we're gonna start on the back side at the very bottom of the plaque, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue this rope down. A little bit of glue. I'm gonna glue the end of this rope down right on the back, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap it around the front, glue it to the front, and we're gonna keep wrapping it all the way around so it covers this portion of the pumpkin. So make sure you have plenty of hot glue. I'm gonna go ahead and put another strip of hot glue for this first strip of rope, and I'll just kind of hold that right down into the hot glue, and I'll wrap it around the back. And I'm just going to do strips of glue in the front. I'm not going to do it in the back just to save glue. You can glue it down on the back as well if you want, but I think the front will hold enough for both. All right, so as you can see, I'm about halfway done, and I've used up one whole package of 13 feet of this nautical rope. So what I want to do is I'm going to make sure that when I'm working, I don't want to have a seam in the front, so I want to make sure that when I wrap it around, the seam lands on the back, because you don't want to see that seam in the front. So if you need to cut yours so that the seam lands in the back, go ahead and do it. It just about works out perfect with the 13 feet. I won't have to cut this one, but depending on what rope you use and what pumpkin you use, you might have to cut it. So again, I just finished this last row before I'm gonna have to glue it down on the back. And I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this down on the back so that I can start my next piece of rope. And right where that seam ended, we'll start our new rope. Just glue that right down. And continue working up the front of our pumpkin, filling in all of that white space right up to the stem. So I'm just about finished wrapping this rope around this pumpkin. I'm on the last strip on the back, and I am gonna go ahead and put some glue on the back, only to help hold it down at the back. And then this is going to be our last strip along the front. Just kind of hold that down. Again, I want to end my seam on the back. Go ahead and cut your rope so that you can glue that down. And then go ahead and glue down that last piece. Actually, I'm not going to glue it to the stem. I'm going to go ahead and glue it right to the back here, just so it's out of the way. I have a metal leaf that I pulled off of one of the plaques that I bought from the Dollar Tree. I spray painted it white, and I'm going to just stick it down in this pumpkin and glue it in place. I'm going to just use that little stem to kind of glue it right there. A few pieces of floral, and we're just going to glue those right to the bottom base. A little glue on that. Glue that right to the base of our pumpkin. So now we have this cute little rope pumpkin to go with the rest of our other pumpkins that we made. Let's show you what they all look like together. Okay, so here they are on my mantle. I love this like kind of rustic farmhouse look this year. I think it's so pretty. Here's the harvest one that we did with that floral backing and the really pretty floral in the front. These are the pumpkins that I have another DIY for. I will try to link that in the description, but we did these from Dollar Store Supplies. Here's that pumpkin that we just did, the little rope pumpkin. And then over here, we've got the little gray flannel, and then the thankful pumpkin. So I think they came out so pretty. Love it, just kind of really simple, elegant, love the colors. Hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. If you did, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and stick around for more DIYs to come. Have a great day, guys.